And so this morning we finally got the announcement of 1000 Year Blood War round 21, I believe, with Ichigo, Orihime, and also Yuha, and the banner is looking really, really good. That was something a lot of us were a bit nervous about. How good would the fillers be? Well, it's a first for BBS, I will say that. And we'll check out the fillers in just a second's time. Real quick though, for those that are wondering, the banner itself is here until the 12th. These are, of course, the 3 new characters. The individuals are then going to follow throughout the entire month of January. The fillers themselves are, not that good and for the individuals. But remember, when you are pulling on individuals, you mainly are pulling for the main character itself, right? The fillers usually aren't anything you really take into consideration. But I mean, Orihime's banner is actually not too bad with Kagoroza. But I guess this means for you Orihime fans, you get to decide whether you want to pull on her individual or look at the end of month banner for January. Either way though, let's have a look at the fillers. There was a lot to talk about on this screen, but lads, have you ever seen a more beautiful 1000 Year Blood War banner than this? Round 16, round 15 at the same time. Both of them got put as fillers for this end of year banner. That right there already makes it a very easy 25 steps for me, even though I own most of these characters. I've been saying that, right? Round 15 and 16 couldn't be put as fillers because there wasn't that many new 1000 Year Blood War characters. Or banners more so. Now that we're getting new banners on a more consistent basis, that means old 1000 Year Blood War characters like this, and they're not even that old, only a year old at this point, can finally be put as fillers, and it's great to see that. Round 16, Ichigo, Olu, and Chad are still pretty good characters, despite me, having my nitpicks with them. They're all still great, especially for new accounts out there, right? And of course, that was the thing we were hoping for too. It works well, and it makes sense why they are here, because we have a new Orihime with the same type of theming of the Concord characters, being from episode 1 of 1000 Year Blood War. So I really do like that they didn't include the other Concord characters to go alongside Orihime. Now it feels like the gang is really back together. And again, this is the first time they've ever been fillers, so this is definitely something to celebrate about, I would say. But this is not just the first time round 16 has been fillers. Round 15 are also fillers. Only Yuha though. It would have been better had Aizen and Yamamoto been there, but it's still nice to see Yuha in this banner, especially to go with, another new Yuha. So you're pulling for 2 Yuhas. Make sure you memorize the quotes though, because you're gonna hear Yuha's voice, maybe get a tad bit excited and realize it's the OG Yuha. But me personally, Yuha is still a character I want to get. I only have him 1 out of 5. Would love to get him duped out, so I'm hoping to pick up Yuha in these summons when I am doing 25, maybe upwards to 50 steps. Alongside that though, round 14 Rukia is also featured, and she is still pretty good as far as 1000 Year Blood War fillers go, at least for the first 1 to 14 rounds. Obviously round 14 Rukia's aged quite good compared to the other characters, so I like that she's in the banner. Would have been nice to see Ichigo too, but I'm fine with Rukia being here. And then alongside that we have everything but the Rain, which I guess makes sense to be in here with, the new Ichigo. As characters themselves, they aren't really that great. Ryukin and Ishin are kind of forgettable, I'm not gonna lie. And they are quite common to be fair, but Masaki's in here, and Masaki's still great. Once more, another 1000 Year Blood War character that came out a couple years ago that's aged quite well, I will say. Especially when it comes to the ranged no affiliation guild quests. She's the best booster for that week, so I think she's good. If you don't have Masaki 5-5, you want to get Masaki and you want to get dupes of her. Candice being here, again, once more, kind of just makes sense because we're getting a true Shikai Ichigo, could care less about her, but overall, I'm very happy with the fill pool for these characters. I was going to do 25 to 50 steps regardless, but now I'm gladly going to do it with the hopes to get some good duplicates in the form of round 16 and 15 of 1000 Year Blood War. One thing to keep in mind though about this banner is that there are 12 characters overall, so there are more fillers this time around, but they did remove the other pull rates. So overall rate is still the same, 6% chance for a 5-star, 0.5% for each individual character. But now if you get a 5-star, it's going to be one of these 12 characters, right? There isn't going to be any disappointment of pulling an unfeatured character, which I think for everyone, I think is a good thing. Keep in mind that it does come with a negative effect. The guaranteed 5-star is 1 in 12. Because there's no other pull rate, usually a guaranteed 5-star is 1 in 9 for the character you want, so technically the chance on the guaranteed steps are a tad bit lower. But I guess that's the thing you have to pay for when you don't get unfeatured pull rates. It's honestly not that big of a deal, but it is something to mention. And remember, this is a 50-step banner. It is a normal banner, so a guaranteed 5-star every 5 steps. On step 25, you are guaranteed a character of your choice. They say 1 featured 5-star guaranteed it. It's a bit weird, they've changed the word in. But step 25 and 50 do guarantee you a character of your choice with the free ticket, which is good, Now, one thing I do want to talk about is the new two characters, right? Because now we have a bit more information in regards to Ichigo, Yuha, and also Orihime. So first off, what we did learn about Ichigo is that he is also an arena character, picking up extra 30% strong attack damage, an extra special move, and also the start power-up item +2 score. Only at level 10 though, so you are going to have to invest into him a tad bit. He's definitely going to be worth doing it if you like to use him in that mode, right? And he's going to be good in arena, so you might want to invest in him there, right? Now on your screen are some data mined information from Hiken, where you have a better look at the actual characters attacked. His SA1 does seem to be a tad bit different compared to past characters. For the most part, it still basically performs the exact same. It's a 3000 length beam in front of him. Really good SA1. One of the best SA1s you can ask for on a character. That's not bad by any means. But it attacks in 2 waves. Normally, a beam is just 1 attack, 1 done. In Ichigo's case, it attacks twice, but it still only does the same amount of damage as a normal 1-attack beam. And by that, a normal beam SA1 would have 120% magnification. In Ichigo's case, it's 260%. So while it's true Ichigo has 2 attacks on that SA1, it basically still performs like a normal strong attack 1 that only has 1 attack to it, right? Just something I thought it worth mentioning. His SA2 is the best variation of a lunge, so that's actually really good to see. And his SA3. Now his SA3, as mentioned down here, there are a few things we need to keep in mind. For starters, there are 2 variations, a ranged and also a melee one, so that potentially means they do plan to return this attack sometime soon, or eventually, right? But they do mention here, tapping the strong attack button once will unleash the first stage of a 2-stage charge attack, while tapping the button then holding it down for a certain period of time will unleash a new powerful second attack. However, holding the button for less than required at this stage will result in a less powerful follow-up attack. So I kind of like that. It's a 2-stage charge attack, but in the way, there's like 3 charges to it. You can press the button once and make it work like a normal SA3, or again, you can charge it, hold it down, and let's say you're about to get attacked. You know you're about to get attacked and you need to let the second part off. Well, you can do that and you're going to be doing more damage. But if you're able to hold it down for the full charge amount, which I think isn't even that long, only like 2 or so seconds, then you get to unleash a more powerful attack. And I like the idea of that. Now, one thing to keep in mind, and this is very important to understand because the gameplay was a tad bit misleading, not that big a deal, but it is worth talking about. Until the second attack is activated, the first stage will inflict damage on all enemies in its area of effect, but it will only deal damage once to each enemy. So in the gameplay, it looked like it was similar to Bambi's SA2, a barrage attack that was hitting multiple times. Ichigo doesn't do that. He technically does, but he's only gonna hit each enemy once in that first phase. The damage output's good though. You're most likely gonna one-shot enemies, but in epic raids in guild quests, and any potential cop boss that you don't one-shot with that first attack, they aren't going to take any extra attacks. So that's something to keep in mind. It's maybe not as broken as we initially thought, but it's still a broken attack nonetheless, right? And again, it can hit multiple times, it's just going to hit multiple different waves. And you see that in the gameplay, right? He used the SA3, and sure, while it's only hitting one wave once, it is still hitting multiple waves, and it's still able to be a ridiculously overpowered strong attack 3. But they do mention more about how the charge effect does work here. In this case, if the strong attack button is held down for a certain amount of time after the first strong attack is unleashed, a second stage attack with a bigger area of effect and an increased power will be activated automatically. So I guess in this case, when you are holding it down, you don't let go, it just does it for you. The first stage of the attack and the powerful second stage attack together will deal twice the amount of damage as a normal strong attack. So that's crazy. That's crazy in and of itself, right? If the strong attack button is released before the second stage attack is fully charged, an attack of the same power and range of the first stage will be unleashed. So even if you don't fully charge it off, it's still a good attack nonetheless. And they make sure to mention here that the first stage attack and the lesser second stage attack together still deal more damage than a regular strong attack 3. So it's absolutely insane, and I like that you get the option for it. Because when you are playing with this character in multiple different scenarios, you might not be able to get the full charge off. There might be a situation where you get pushed away, or you have to dodge because you're going to get attacked. But it's nice to know that if you aren't able to fully charge it up and get the best variation of the Getsugu Jujisho attack, you're still able to dish out a ridiculous amount of damage. And even in worst case scenario, you're still dealing more damage than a normal character's SA3. So this SA3 looks to be absolutely insane. Now that we know more information about it, it still looks absolutely insane. Now that then takes us into Yuha. One thing we did learn about him is how the enemies defeated bonus does work. So it's very similar to Rampage, right? We know that. Rampage is the more kills you get, the more damage you get. Now this one is it's better to call it its own thing. It's enemies defeated bonus. It's similar to Rampage. In the way it works, it's very similar, but you know, what you're going to see in the gameplay is that Yuha has a gauge underneath him, right? Indicating how much kills you've gotten. And that's important to know because, again, every kill that you do get gives you a certain type of bonus, right? So it's nice to know how potential close you are to getting the next new potential skill that you do unlock depending on the amount of kills you do get. And the new thing that we do learn about this character is that it's better than Rampage, because Rampage is a skill that you only get when you get the kills. In Yuha's case, anyone that gets the kill counts towards his new bonus. Because you can see here, the enemies defeated count will only increase when the character with the enemies defeated bonus is the one being controlled by the player during a single player quest. So in Limit Breaker, in single player content, when Yuha gets the kills, it increases defeated bonus count. However, enemies defeated by other players will also be added to the count during epic raids and also co-op. So if you are using Yuha in epic raids, well, epic raids don't count anyway because you're not going to be able to get it. You only have one kill. But in co-op content, let's say IT, if you're hosting your more likely to get the kills yourself anyway, but any enemy that your allies defeat too are increasing the amount of kills you get. So if you are playing this character in co-op, you're easily going to get the max bonus here, the extra soul bomb, the more damage, and that's really good. And they mention it too, if there are multiple characters with this enemy's defeated bonus, each enemy defeated will be added to each character's separate count. So it's looking pretty good. Now, when it comes to Orihime's new persistent skill, when she does die, of course, we know that she's going to stay alive for like a certain amount of time. In this case, we know it's only 5 seconds. So it's not as broken as I thought it would be. If it lasted 10 seconds, that would be absolutely ridiculous. In this case, it definitely is still a powerful skill, and this is definitely something, you know, new Brave Bar characters are going to get in the future. But just know that if you do kill Orihime, she's going to stay alive and keep fighting for 5 more seconds. So if you are able to tank those 5 extra seconds, well, then you can potentially take down Orihime once the skill does wear off. So yeah, Banner is great. Orihime looks amazing. Ichigo and also Yuha look more impressive now that I've read some of the information that we did get in game and looking at some of the data mined skills for these characters. Both have like perfect kits here. I have nothing to complain about them in terms of how they do perform. Banner itself, again, also looks really good here. I'm really impressed with the banner. While I might have some nitpicks, I would have preferred X character in this banner over X character. It is still an achievement in BBS that we actually have round 16 and 15 featured for the first time as fillers. This makes the banner more worthwhile, and especially if you never pulled for these characters. Even if you have, maybe getting duplicates of them would be good. In my case, I have Yuha, the hot Brave Battle one, but I want to get him 5-5, and that's what I'm hoping for. When I maybe potentially do 50 steps on this banner, I'm hoping to walk away with a 5-5 Ichigo, a 5-5 Yuha, a 5-5 Orihime, a new Chad, because I don't own Chad, and I would love to pick up duplicates of also Yuha. Anyway, lads, that was the video for today. Banner looks great. Let me know how you guys feel about it in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.